Feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp tank.
Hey everybody, welcome to the post-show wrap-up of the Shrimp Tank. I'm your co-host, Ted Jenkin, here with my co-host, Lee Hosman today. And of course, our guest, Tony Rouse. If you have not seen his lifestyle brand at meetTonyRouse.com, you have to check it out today. Lee and I got to experience all sorts of fragrances today. There's actually one called God that you have to check that out as well. Candles, waxes, stuff for your beard, colognes, and much, much more. While you're watching us on the YouTube channel today and our interview here with Tony, make sure after this you check out all the amazing entrepreneurs. We have literally 1,000 on here. If you want to get that MBA in entrepreneurship, don't pay $100,000 for it. You're going to get a combination of street smarts and book smarts by watching everything here right on the YouTube channel for Shrimp Tank. Click subscribe and then also press that notifications bell. That way you get all of these in your mailbox every single week.
Tony, what a great show today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
I'm holding in my hand the beard comb. Obviously, I'm holding some scents here, some cologne.
Yeah.
Tell our listeners about your product line and about you.
Got it. Oh, so once again, guys, thank y'all for having me so much. Biggest thing, my name is Tony Rouse. We make a masculine scented candle that guys like and that women love. We're a lifestyle brand that want to just connect with you. I mean, we want to create great products for great people.
Well, I tell you what, you mentioned it today. This one here is called Kingpin.
Kingpin.
Tony's got it etched in here in the front. This illuminates, and like he said, guys like it and the ladies love it. And you mentioned today that this has got to be hard when you have fragrances and you're trying to figure out which one's right and which one's wrong. But you mentioned something called a feedback board, which I think is interesting, and people that may not have the money to hire some big advisory board. What does that look like?
Basically, a feedback board is having people around you that can tell you no, and that you're not going to get mad with them. So it's great to have a collection of people, and it needs to be people that you trust. Like, you need to trust, I tell people all the time, information is great, but if you don't know the source of that information, because if you don't have them where they're vetted, you can have them where they're giving you feedback, but it may not be from a position of where you're trying to go or what you're trying to get towards. So I think that's the biggest thing with a feedback board, is just actually having people that can tell you no, but also that you trust, and so that y'all can still walk away, still have Thanksgiving or something together after the fact.
Well, Tony, I will tell you what I also learned. I smelled a ton of candles today.
Yep.
Yeah, you did.
You now have a new loyal customer.
Thank
We
you.
talked a little bit on the show about a scent profile, kind of like a flavor profile.
Yeah.
And you don't realize, I didn't realize at least, how it works. Can you kind of talk to our audience about that?
Not a problem. So when I design from my imagination. So I see it before you smell it. And so even with fragrances like Kingpin was the best way I could say gangster without saying gangster. And I mean, gangster candles, not really that marketable, but you say Kingpin, you got something. So the cool thing is, like I said, design from my imagination. I'm a Marvel fan, so Wilson Fisk wears a 3-piece suit, and then this was literally the design of a New York penthouse or like an Atlanta penthouse. Like, it's designed to just have it when you walk in, it's like, this smells like money. So that's how I do it. So the scent profile literally comes from my imagination when I start creating, and no matter the name, each one has its own thing of what I'm trying to convey when I start putting it together.
Well, I will tell you, you conveyed a lot today because the scents were amazing.
Thank you.
Not only the cologne, but also the candles. So how do people get in touch with you? I think you have something coming up in the next few weeks
Yes.
as well, plus online.
Yeah, so online is www.meet, and that's MEET, Tony, Tony, Rouse, ROUSE.com. And then coming up, we actually start tomorrow is our 6-week residency over at Atlantic Station in Midtown Atlanta. So we're really excited about that.
Tony, you've traveled all around the world looking at different fragrances. Is there a best-smelling country out there?
Best smelling country, wow. The United States of America is the best smelling country ever. No, I think, again, fragrance is subjective. Some people love, you look at countries like India, they love the smell of rose. To me, when I went to Spain smells like oranges. That's actually with our signature.
Oranges.
Our signature cologne. We have Valencia, Spain.
Yeah.
So it literally smells like a
Signature.
citrus grove, like outside. When I went to Singapore, Asian, like, I guess the fragrances, if you will, it's that warmness and that sometimes the woodiness that goes in it. So every country has its own thing. And so there's not one greatness, because what is for one person may not be for somebody else. And so I think the best thing is find what you like and then just love it.
I tell you what, this is the cool thing about shopping for stuff, and as an entrepreneur, you always want to differentiate. That's why I go to meetTonyRouse.com, because when you show up with this stuff, they're going to be like, where'd you get that? And this is how brands are made, and I love the fact that you're building a brand right here in Atlanta. And if you're tripping on the YouTube channel here and taking a look at different entrepreneurs, check out the interview that Lee and I recently did with Jeff Perkins of Park Mobile. They just hit 30 million users and adding 1 million users a month. That's just amazing what's happening in our city right here in Atlanta. Thanks, Tony, for joining us today. It was a fabulous, fabulous podcast. You've got to go to shrimptankpodcast.com to hear the entire podcast, and that's your post-show wrap-up of the Shrimp Tank.
I've been feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp tank.